when they're done imparting all of their knowledge, we're going to open it up to you. So as they're talking, please be thinking of the questions that you want to ask, because there's nothing worse than when I say, I'd love to hear from the audience, and nobody raises their hand. So your assignment is to have questions when we get to that part. So we're going to start over here on my right, and the first person that I'm going to introduce is Paul Walker with GCI Group of Texas and GCI Digital. He is the president of GCI Group of Texas and oversees GCI Digital, which is a communications consultancy. Here in Austin, he runs the Austin office. Is that right? Thank you for joining us. He has a lot of really good things that he'll share with us. Immediately next to me is Bill Leake, the CEO and founder of Apogee Search, which specializes in SEO, which is search engine optimization. And when I think of search engine optimization, I've known Bill a long time. He knows a lot about it. So he's going to share some of his wisdom with us. Sitting next to me on the other side is, who are you? Is Tim Hayden from GamePlan Marketing and Events. And one of the books that I wrote is called The ABCs of Networking. And if you were to read it, the letter G is for GamePlan. And I actually quote Tim because one of the things of his company is he doesn't like to work with anybody who doesn't have a game plan, who doesn't know what success looks like. And what they do is experiential marketing, making sure that your clients know who you are and experience you. And then last but seriously not least is Rob Solomon of Bulldog Solutions, which is an interactive web marketing company that, from what I've seen, does fabulous webinars and other tools to help people get their business out in front of their clients, their prospects, and others, not just locally, but around the globe. So let's jump right in and talk about this new world of sort of the social online media world and social media and online networking and YouTube and webinars and experiential marketing, search engine optimization, and all types of communications that go right along with that. So I'm going to start over here with Rob and ask the question to all of you, so we'll sort of go down the line and everybody will answer the same question. In just a few minutes, give me sort of a little bit of a background of what you see social media as meaning. Because the truth of the matter is if you talk to 100 people, you're going to get 100 different definitions of what this can be. So why don't you tell us, what is social media and how can small businesses incorporate this into their business, and why is that a positive thing?
Okay, I'll start. I think you're right. It's a word that means whatever you want it to mean. And in fact, if you wanted to find a definition of it, you'd be hard-pressed. You won't find it in Webster's. You'd probably have to go to Wikipedia, which is a social media platform on the web, to even begin to understand what it means. So in the context of, I guess, what we're going to talk about today, I would define it as how we use the web and how we use technologies that are resonant on the web create really open, really honest, really unstructured, completely uncontrolled peer-to-peer conversations. People talking to people about anything, anywhere, anytime, anyhow they want to do it. I know that's sort of broad, mushy speak, but as we talk about examples and how it works, I'll try to qualify it with real-life instances of what that really means.
Tim?
Tom? You know, I would agree. There's a lot of hijacking going on in marketing communications right now. A lot of folks are saying that they're social media experts, that they're guerrilla marketing experts, that they're experiential marketing experts, that they're viral marketing experts. Honestly, it is very difficult to find a definition. It's very difficult to find one thing that any of these things fall under. You know, we'll talk about a lot of these things. I'll probably hijack a few of these in some of my answers today, but you know, social media itself, Facebook is not social media. It's a wonderful application that has all types of threads of social media woven through it. Social media is a living, breathing dialogue that people are having through all kinds of technology that sooner or later is going to end up on the web. It may start on your phone. There's some people in the audience I know right now that are twittering right now to folks, and that can be seen, the output of that can be seen on the web and on other people's phones. It really isn't something that anybody sitting up here or anybody in the room is going to be able to give a straight answer and say, I know soup to nuts what social media is. It truly is where we are now with 100 different channels to host and foster, garner, nurture a dialogue with the folks we have as our friends, our clients, our partners, or anybody else that you want to talk to.
But before we go to you, I'd like to see a show of hands. How many people know what Twitter is? When he said you're twittering, how many people knew what that was? About a quarter of the room. Okay, Bill.
Just three quick things on social media. First and foremost, I strongly believe if someone comes to you and says they're a social media expert, the next place your hand should be is checking your wallet. Especially in the small business folks, the number of folks out there that are just pirates, looking at you as prey and rebrand themselves with social media, it's kind of scary. So it works, it's really, really important, but if someone claims to be an expert, watch your wallet. Nobody is an expert. This is new, it's evolving. Everyone here up in front of you, I think would all say we're students. Some of us might be beyond the 101 classes, but we're all students. And people need to approach it with that level of humility because we're all learning. And some of the rules are continuing to be written and rewritten. The second thing that I want to make a point about is a lot of it is really taking stuff that we've all done for a long time, physical networking events, meetups, bulletin boards from the early days of the web, email, chat, and the tools are just getting better and facilitating richer and deeper kinds of discussions. And one of the first things that experts like to do is rename everything and change the labels on old topics so they can seem like an expert. But it's basically humans connecting with humans and in a more efficient way that leads, in many cases, ultimately to a physical meetup. And then the third thing that I want to say in terms of social media is that what social media is really facilitating is the many-to-many conversation. And far too many ad agencies and far too many PR agencies, not all of them, but are still focused on the one-to-many. I'm going to tell you what you should think. I've got a message and you're going to sit and listen. And social media is all about an interactive dialogue and about taking the risk and being willing to see, we don't know where that dialogue is going to go, but we're going to start it and we're going to follow it, we're going to have a conversation. We're not going to have one conversation, we're going to have lots of conversations and meet people where they are. And so those are kind of, have the humility, we're all students. A lot of it is just rebranded stuff that we all do every day as humans. And it's a many-to-many. It needs to be authentic, it needs to meet people where they are.
Thank you for the introduction. I don't think I can add a lot more to that. Just to say, it's real simply, it's about conversations. Maybe, I was sitting here thinking that 6 months ago, I probably wouldn't even use the word or phrase social media. In fact, I can remember avoiding using the phrase social media like a plague with my clients because every time I said social media, a lot of them would go, social, this is a business, and it was harder for them to embrace. But I think it's been much more widely accepted in really the past 6 months for a couple of reasons. One is Mary Meeker just released her report, Morgan Stanley Internet Trends report today, and she pointed out that 16% of all the time spent on the internet now is spent in social network type activity, and that's second only to communications. It didn't exist 3 years ago. 3 years ago, that slice of that little pie wasn't even in the chart. So it's had tremendous growth. We've seen a lot of people have said, oh, well, that's consumers, right? It's not a B2B phenomenon. We've now got great data. We're seeing that, I think Jupiter came out with a report. And I've seen some strategic oxygen data, some data from Dell that shows that business decision makers are 50% say that they've been involved in some sort of social media or social network activity as in a business context. When I see numbers like that, and then in that seen the same piece of data that said, but 97, I think it's 93, actually 93% say, and I've actually used social media to make a purchase decision. So they've gone out and they've looked for peers for advice. So when you start to see numbers like that, and you start to hear the analysts use that phrase, social media, finally I've started to see and hear clients start to use it. So I think social media, the term, as being much more accepted as a way of doing this.